So this is the meeting for the Citizens Independent Salary Commission. I'm Alan Hines, Managing City Attorney here at the City of Albuquerque. I'm going to be initiating a roll call vote and then having the members vote for who the new chair and co-chair are going to be. And then the new chair and co-chair will then handle the meeting from that point forward. So first, we're going to do a roll call vote. Commissioner Hickman. I believe you're muted, Commissioner. You're muted.
Present.
Got to have at least one of those every session. That's totally fine. All right, Commissioner Rogers.
I was trying the keyboard. I'm present.
And Commissioner Sutton.
Present.
And lastly, Commissioner Garland.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm present as well.
Okay, commissioners, I am going to, per Robert's rules, the first order of business whenever you have a commission present that doesn't have a chair or chairperson is the commission then votes on that. So I'm going to move that the commission vote. Actually, first I'm going to open the floor to nominations for who the commissioner should be.
I nominate Commissioner Hickman again.
Seconded.
Okay. So the motion has been moved and so seconded. So now we're going to move to a vote on that. So I'm going to do a roll call. We'll start with Commissioner Hickman. How do you vote?
Sure. In favor.
All right. Commissioner Rogers?
In favor.
Okay. Commissioner Sutton?
In favor.
Commissioner Garland?
In favor. Thank you, Commissioner Hickman, for volunteering.
All right, so the motion passes 4-0, and I will turn it over to the newly elected chair for the motion on the co-chair.
Okay. Nominations are now open. Alan, is it co-chair or vice chair or?
Oh, I'm not sure what you guys call it. You
I don't
probably
either.
know better. Probably vice chair.
For the vice chair position? Any nominations?
I'm happy to nominate Commissioner Sutton again.
I would second that.
Commissioner Sutton has been nominated as vice chair, and it's been seconded. Do I hear any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. Let's vote. Molly?
I'm in favor.
I'll vote for myself. I'm in favor. Carrie?
In favor.
And Michael?
Thank you. In favor. Appreciate it.
Okay. Commissioner Sutton will be the new vice chair for this coming year. Let me see. I'm going to have to pull up the agenda. What do we got going on today? Let's see. Is there any when you can't think of anything else, you say, is there any past business that anyone would like to raise? Any concerns or questions? I'll look to Leslie or Alan. I glanced quickly at I thought that the only thing on the agenda was the election and then setting a next meeting. Is that probably?
Yes, so we do have the dates, what the commission would like to set going forward. We do have a presentation from OIA to recap on the prior commission's decision was to increase salaries for the mayor and city councilors, and what the commission would like going forward or information from OIA to research.
So our next if I got that right, Leslie, the next meeting would be to a presentation by staff to recap what we did last time. Is that correct?
We actually have the presentation ready today for the
Oh,
commission.
you do?
Yes.
Oh, great. I'll get the popcorn. Okay, well, if there's no other um, business on the agenda that needs to be taken care of beforehand, let's go ahead and I'll give you guys the floor.
Chair Hickman, would you like to set the dates now or after the
Oh,
presentation?
well, the next meeting we have, what would be, how many meetings do you anticipate that we'll need? What would normally be the case? The next meeting, we would just discuss, it seems like in the past, we kind of discussed if we needed any more information about peer cities and that type of thing, inflation. And then once we have that information, we kind of move forward if that sounds. How long would it take for you folks? Oh, Carrie, you have a question? Do I see? I'm getting technical. Wow. It's kind of like, yeah.
Excellent acknowledgement of the hand raise emoji. Thank you. Well, I certainly appreciate the relevance of getting some dates set as soon as possible. For the question of exactly how many meetings we'll need, I wonder if the presentation would actually help us determine that. So maybe we can at least go ahead and align on some dates now, and then if after the presentation we're like, oh shoot, I think we're going to need more, then we can go back and add some additional dates? Question mark.
That sounds fine to me. Does everyone feel like they can commit to a few? Committing to dates is not our long suit, but at least it's not mine.
Were there some official rules about the dates we set because they have to be made public?
So we do have to have the agenda posted about 48 hours prior to the meeting, if I'm not mistaken, Ellen.
Uh, Also, Leslie and her staff may need a certain amount of lead time to put together, um, the kind of information we might want. I'm guessing for the first, well, maybe we've characterized it enough just in that little brief discussion, the kind of information that we've had in the past for that first meeting, pure salaries, inflation in the Albuquerque area. That's typically what's included. It'd be nice if that were prepared for the next meeting, I guess. So we have something, to look at and to discuss. How long do you think? Does that sound okay to you? Michael, do you have a question? Or I see you popping
Yeah,
up.
I was just going to say, I think that we should follow the agenda as it was laid out and start with the presentation as the next thing. And then I think that'll answer a lot of our questions. And then we can look at what the next date uh, could be, what the feasibility is, given that, we're going to have a discussion, I think, on the questions that we have. So the data that we're going to ask OIA to find. And so I'd rather do that and then hear from them on what a meeting could look like in terms of the time frame. So I think we should just start with the presentation.
Does anyone have any? That sounds reasonable to me, Michael. I don't see it's a big issue one way or the other, so that seems like a good idea. So should we go ahead and get the presentation out of the way, and then we'll look at the meetings. Maybe something will be revealed in the presentation that'll enlighten us about what we need to do before the first meeting or need to have done. Does that sound okay to everyone?
Sounds good to
Okay.
me. Thank you.
Let's go for it.
All right, thank you. Give me just a moment here and I'll get the presentation pulled up. All right, can everyone see my screen? Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the Citizens Independent Salary Commission and citizens of Albuquerque. Today, oh, my apologies. We're reviewing the previous salary adjustments made by the commission, providing context for each decision regarding the mayor, council members, and council president. Our objective is to ensure that compensation for public officials reflects the responsibilities of their roles, encourages experienced candidates, and aligns with public expectations. The commission was established through a voter amendment to the city charter reflecting public support for a fair and transparent salary setting process for elected officials. Its purpose is to provide independent, unbiased evaluations, ensuring salaries align with each role's responsibilities. This independence keeps decisions objective and transparent, free from political influence. In short, the commission exists to uphold fair compensation for officials grounded in Albuquerque's commitment to transparency and accountability. The commission has authority to set salaries for both the mayor and city councilors. This authority allows the commission to ensure that compensation levels reflect the responsibilities of these roles. Our goal is to align salaries with public expectations, supporting officials who serve Albuquerque's needs. In essence, the commission ensures that the mayor and councilors are fairly compensated for their work based on role demands and community standards. The commission's primary goals are to evaluate and adjust salaries based on roles, responsibilities, and data from similar cities. This approach promotes fairness, ensuring compensation aligns with the duties of each role. We are committed to equity and transparency in all salary decisions. In short, our goal is to set fair, competitive salaries that reflect the real demands of each position and maintain public trust. The most recent salary update for the mayor and city councilors was on March 29th, 2023. This update demonstrates the commission's commitment to keep compensation reviews regular and relevant. By maintaining timely evaluations, the commission ensures that compensation remains fair and aligned with current expectations and responsibilities. The commission uses a thorough review strategy to evaluate fair compensation for elected officials. Our process considers multiple factors, ensuring that each decision is balanced and well-informed. This meticulous approach helps us uphold fairness and accuracy in setting salaries for Albuquerque's leaders. The commission conducts an in-depth analysis of the roles and responsibilities of the mayor and city councilors. This evaluation helps us to understand the demands and expectations of these offices. It ensures that salaries accurately reflect the duties and commitment required for effective community service. By studying these roles closely, we can set compensation that truly aligns with the responsibilities of serving Albuquerque. The commission conducts a thorough analysis of salary and benefits from similar municipalities. This comparative approach ensures our local salaries align with regional standards. By benchmarking against other cities, we promote equity among public service roles. This data-driven approach helps us to set fair, competitive salaries that reflect regional norms and responsibilities. Public engagement is encouraged through our interactive website and community surveys. This approach allows residents to share their views on compensation, promoting inclusivity. It reinforces transparency in our decision-making process. By involving the community, we ensure that compensation decisions reflect public perspectives and build trust. Our analysis includes a review of past salary adjustments to give context to current decisions. Understanding these trends helps the commission make informed, justifiable recommendations. This historical perspective ensures consistency and accountability in salary updates. By examining past adjustments, we can better support and explain our current recommendations. In 2023, the commission concluded that salary increases for the mayor and city councilors were necessary. These adjustments ensure alignments with the demands and responsibilities of their roles. This decision reflects our commitment to fair compensation that supports effective leadership for Albuquerque. Following a thorough analysis, the commission identified the need for salary increases due to evolving responsibilities. Comparative data from similar municipalities supports these adjustments. This ensures fair compensation that acknowledges the significant responsibilities of public leaders. The decision reflects our goal to provide equitable, competitive salaries that align with the demands of city leadership. I'm sorry, give me just a second. Okay. The last salary structure for the mayor and city councilors took effect on March 29th, 2023. This date marks the official transition to updated salaries, providing timely adjustments in compensation. This represents our commitment to implementing fair compensation promptly and efficiently. The mayor's salary reflects a significant adjustment, underscoring the importance of strong leadership in city governance. This increase recognizes the extensive responsibilities and impact of the mayor's role. The adjusted salary emphasizes the value Albuquerque places on effective, dedicated leadership in municipal government. Previously, the Albuquerque mayor's salary was set at $132,500. This figure was revised to better match the responsibilities and expectations tied to the role. The adjustment ensures that mayor's compensation reflects the demands of leading Albuquerque City effectively. The mayor's salary was determined based on comparative analysis with similar jurisdictions, reflecting the previous valuation of this role. The former salary aligned with past assessments, but adjustments were needed to reflect current responsibilities and expectations. On March 29, 2023, the mayor's new salary was set at approximately $146,000. This represents a 10.5% increase, acknowledging the evolving responsibilities and contributions of this role. The salary adjustment reflects the city's commitment to fair compensation that aligns with the mayor's significant duties and leadership. The recent salary adjustment represented a substantial increase in the compensation for city councilors. This increase underscores the importance of their roles and responsibilities in city governance. The adjusted salaries highlight the value Albuquerque places on the councilors' contributions and dedication to serving the community. Prior to the recent adjustment, city councilors received an annual salary of approximately $33,000. This amount had remained unchanged for several years, highlighting the need for a comprehensive review. The stagnant salary promoted an in-depth evaluation to ensure councilor compensation aligns with their current responsibilities and contributions. As of the recent salary adjustment in 2023, city councilors now receive an annual salary of approximately $62,000. This substantial increase reflects the expanded responsibilities and valued contribution of the councilors. The updated salary ensures that councilor compensation is fair, competitive, and aligned with the demands of the roles in serving Albuquerque. The council president's salary structure reflects additional responsibilities and leadership duties beyond those of other councilors. This position requires overseeing council operations and ensuring collaboration across city governance. Adjusted salary for the city council president underscores the added leadership role, recognizing the importance of effective oversight and coordination within the council. Prior to this recent adjustment, the council president's salary was set at approximately $35,000. This amount did not fully reflect the additional leadership responsibilities specific to the council president role. This previous salary structure highlighted the need to adjust compensation to better align with the unique demands of the council president's position. I'm sorry, give me just a second. The recent adjustment in 2023 has set the council president's new salary at approximately $66,000. This increase acknowledged the additional leadership responsibilities and oversight required in the council president's role. The updated salary ensures fair compensation that aligns with the council president's enhanced duties and contributions to city governance. The new salary for council president was set at $66,000 and became effective on March 29, 2023. This updated compensation structure. Implementing this adjustment ensures timely recognition of the council president's responsibilities and contributions. Give me just a moment. Okay, so that concludes the presentation. Thank you all for your time and attention today. In closing, the salary adjustments for the mayor, city councilors, and the council president reflect our commitment to fair, competitive compensation that aligns with the evolving responsibilities of these roles. These changes were made with careful analysis and consideration of comparable municipalities, public input, and a dedication to transparency. By recognizing the increasing demands on our city leaders, we aim to support effective governance and ensure that Albuquerque's public officials are empowered to serve over our community to the best of their abilities. We appreciate the continued support and engagement from the Citizens Independent Salary Commission and the Albuquerque community. This collaborative effort strengthens our ability to build a city government that values dedication, leadership, and accountability. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Leslie. That was good to reflect on that. Get a nice review. As Michael alluded to, it did kind of inform some of the things that we probably want to take a look at. It looks like it's mandated that we take a look at things like the peer group of other cities and their responsibilities. I know we've had that in the past, so I assume that will be something that we'll be interested in. And I personally would, want to see new data on local inflation since the last salary review. As I was reading that or listening to that, it occurred to me, I don't know if it even exists, but sometimes the government, like the Air Force Base, has cost of living adjustments for local people living on the economy, or that kind of thing. I don't know if you ever heard of such a thing, Leslie, or is anyone aware of that? And I thought, well, maybe I'm not sure if we accessed that data in the past. I don't know where we got the information that we were. You probably told us, but I've forgotten. Yeah.
In the military, it's referred to as cost of living allowance.
Yeah, the COLA, right. At any rate, it'd be that kind of information about inflation or the cost of living would be useful. And then another thing and then feel free to other commissioners to jump in. Another thing that I think would be interesting would be to see a longitudinal comparison of the number of candidates that were running for city council and see if our salary increase generated a little more interest in serving the community. I mean, I think that's certainly one of the things that folks thought about as we tried to make the salaries reflect the responsibilities. No one wants to take, or not no one, but it might be difficult to entice people to give up a job or whatever to take the responsibilities if they can't afford it. Anything else, Carrie?
Yeah, I really like that proposal. So I appreciate you adding that piece on. I think that's something that ended up, as I recall, came up pretty heavily in our discussions, at least locally within the city of Albuquerque, was, what pay ran across the city for different kinds of roles. And I wonder if any kinds of pay data within the city of Albuquerque, and I'm not quite sure what kinds of roles we would even want to do comps to for it, so I'm not quite fully committed to that piece. But as we are looking at pay for comparable elected roles within peer cities, I'd be curious about like median salary for those cities also, so that we know like our city. Oh yeah, cool, thank you, Molly, you pulled together something coherent out of that. Yes, I like that. The pay for the different grades within the city. And then, yeah, so we know if we're looking at like a city councilor in the city of El Paso, they make X dollars a year. How does that compare to the median income within El Paso? I think that could really help with benchmarking also to account for the relatively different cost of living across regions.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. And I think from our last meeting too, we really wanted to try and target a livable wage for someone in Albuquerque is what I recall. So it wasn't so much even the position, because I think I get what you're saying, Commissioner Sutton, that like what positions are we trying to elevate? Like, I don't think that's the goal. I think we wanted to make sure that anyone felt like they could run, and if they won, they could do the job full time, is what I remember wanting to try and advocate for through this pay structure, pay scale. Um, and I would be fine, looking into the cost. Or I agree. Not that I would be fine. I would like to look into the cost of living adjustment and the inflation rate and see how that's changed. At least at the very minimum, making that probably minor change at least to the city councilors' salaries. I think that I recall though that we really didn't look at the mayor's salary at all. My understanding was that the new pay wouldn't take effect until after the next election. And so I think when we focused last time, we just focused on city council because there was no mayoral election, but I might be wrong. So I think the mayor's salary seems to me like is something that we should focus more on this time. But I'm open to reviewing city council as well.
I can't recall specifically. I I know that we didn't obviously raise the mayor's salary as much as we raised the city council's. I guess my sense was we felt it was a little more equitable and a little more competitive as it was. And I imagine that 10% kind of came from a sort of a cost of living thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I am not positive, but I thought that one of the things that we looked at was the cost of living adjustments that other city employees had gotten during the window since the last increase.
that that's kind of my sense, but if you rely on my memory, God help us.
No, yeah,
Can
no,
I
I
interject here? I'm
please do.
sorry. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the analytics for what we did the last go around, and I'm just confirming that was something we did look at.
Repeat that. When you say that,
So it was
what
just,
you're
sorry,
referring to?
it was basically a COLA calculation that you guys just applied to the mayor's salary. We did pull down salary ranges for directors, and we did provide that information, but I don't believe that a decision was made based on the salary ranges for directors for the mayor.
Yeah, thanks, Marissa. That's helpful. Um, yeah, I think it's a good suggestion to to maybe take a look at some of these other cities and not just as Carrie, I think, was referring to, alluding to, not just the mayor's salary, but kind of the cost of living in those cities, so you get a sense of. Correct me if I'm mischaracterizing this, Carrie, but so you get a sense of what the city director or the mayor is making in those cities versus the cost of living, and then we can kind of put that up beside Albuquerque. That's another piece that I think you were suggesting we add, right, Carrie?
Yeah, I'd been thinking more about median income of the city overall, but I think either or both, just depending on what is practical. Leslie, I don't want to send y'all on a wild goose chase. And then it looks like Molly has had her hand up also.
Oh,
Mhm. Yeah, so I was wondering, has the city budget gone up since we paid city councilors more? Like, is that something we can even ask about? Like,
We can provide that information if you'd like.
yeah, like,
We
are
can.
they bringing in more money since we're paying them more?
yeah, I think that's a good piece to the puzzle too, and I think that that's been kind of included, that type of thing, with kind of the standard package that the staff has been providing. So that's good. Yeah, get a big picture. Um, any any other any other suggestions? I'm trying to rack my brain on some other piece that might be outside.
I
Yeah,
One
Carrie?
thing that we haven't touched on for this year, last time around we ran a public survey. I don't know if we would like to do that again this year, and if so, maybe do a bit of refinement on the questions for the public survey to make sure that we're really getting the most useful kind of insight there possible.
Yeah, I was not, I wasn't, I didn't feel like those survey responses were, necessarily reflective of, I think we got, you know, it certainly wasn't a random sample, or I had no faith in it being a random sample. So I'm not sure it really reflects, what the citizens felt. I mean, it's okay to solicit feedback, that's for sure, and that's one of the things we're charged with. So,
Yeah, I do. It feels like it's a bit difficult to communicate the nuance of, like, hello, citizen taking this survey. To be clear, we're not determining pay for anybody who's like currently in this seat necessarily. It is for like the next, so it's for the role itself. And I guess that's where I'm also, Kent, I agree with you. So far as the usefulness of the survey responses, and that's where I kind of come back to, are there other questions that we could be asking that would give us some more useful feedback? And I wish that I had put some thought into that consideration before this moment, because I'm coming up dry currently. I don't, maybe more reflection would be helpful, maybe it wouldn't.
yeah, just another thought. Oh, Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Could the OIA inform us or remind us what the deadline of a decision is so we can make sure we're operating within like reason? Because I remember I think we came up across that last time as well.
So I'm not aware of a deadline when this analysis needs to be performed. Vanessa or Alan, are you aware of a
Sorry, I'm
deadline?
referring to a deadline of the commission's recommendations to the city. I
A
think it goes to
deadline
the
to
city
have our
clerk.
final report
Yeah.
submitted. Yeah.
Typically, the report goes out in March,
Okay.
just to give you an overall deadline.
And the charter requires that it's at least 1 year prior to each regular municipal election. That's when you guys got to start the review.
Thank you.
Since Carrie brought up surveys, in the past we've gotten a survey, and I assume it would probably be included, of the actual council members themselves, and if I'm not mistaken, that talks about how many hours a week do you put in on this and that kind of thing, and that might be that might be enlightening. I'd encourage the staff to go ahead and I assume that probably be part of the package that they put together, since it has been in the past. But I found that to be helpful, and I think it might also be helpful given, see if there's any. I guess it's just the researcher in me to see if there's any change in behavior as the salaries went up, especially for the council members. Carrie?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that piece as well. I also found those surveys to be tremendously useful. So I'm starting to cook up a possible kind of set of meetings. Since it sounds like we are interested in at least, well, Kent and I at least are interested in the surveys to council members, and the mayor may or may not be interested in a public survey this year. I know I at least would like to take a moment to just put eyes on those questions, make sure that we're asking the right questions again. So I wonder about a meeting sometime in December just for us to get aligned on what the surveys will be, and then maybe make sure that we're also like fully baked on some of the data that we're asking staff to go find, and if we need to rein in the scope of that at all or anything like that. So a meeting in December to do that, and then a meeting in maybe late January or February sometime to review the results of all of that and then come up with a salary proposal. And then if we need to have an additional final meeting, in late February or March sometime for any further discussion. Does this feel realistic to folks?
On
Oh.
behalf of our office, that would be realistic for the staff.
That sounds like a good idea. Have the staff distribute an outline of what what information they plan together for that kind of background that the commission could use, and maybe including past surveys of both the public and the this council and the mayor. And I'm pretty sure we'll want to do the council and the mayor. And we can then decide after looking at, the public survey, whether it was useful, whether it needs to be redone, or maybe whether it just we might forego that. Yeah. And then whatever other things, the cost of living, this and that you propose. And yeah, so that sounds good. Let's a December meeting. We're running out of December if we black out, Christmas and New Year's week. I assume we probably try to get that together not too long not too long from now. So we have.
Yeah, I'd just like to note that I'm in favor of that proposed plan
Is
by
that
Commissioner
is that
Sutton. And then I did want to flag that Commissioner Rogers also, I think it makes sense to check the list of peer cities, and then OIA can hopefully start a review of data if that's something some ideas of what we've already discussed. Staff can start reviewing those too.
What do you think, Molly?
I think that sounds good. Are we looking at maybe the week of the 16th of December?
That's what I would assume, somewhere right in there.
Okay, that would work for me.
That works for me. Is that enough time? Does the staff folks, the city folks feel like they could get that kind of outline?
I think so. So what I'm hearing is at that meeting, have those survey questions for you guys to review and edit as appropriate. We can also provide our proposed list of peer cities that we can trim down if you'd like. And then also we'll have the analytics that you've proposed in today's meeting for us to do further research on and see if you guys want to add more or remove some, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and it would be helpful if that kind of went out, I don't know, 3 days or a week or something before that meeting, so we have a chance to read through it. And how does the fellow commissioners feel about that? Does that sound conceptually like a good idea? Good. Okay.
Which analytics are they looking at for us?
I'm not sure. I think COLA, number of commissioners who were running for office this year versus last. And they're not gathering this, they're just enumerating those kinds of things. Then median income or per capita income or something, and some of the peer cities. Local inflation, local COLA adjustments.
So we've been taking notes, so we'll bring it out in bullet form, and that way we can get some agreement on further research on those analytics.
Yeah. So basically it's a time to really sit down in an organized way and answer that question that you're just asking, Molly, I think. Okay.
Do
Any
we?
other, sorry?
So we kind of got onto the same page for a week to schedule the meeting. I guess for folks from the city, would it be helpful if we actually pin down a day and a time right now, or do we want to use a doodle poll over email to pin down the exact date?
Leslie, do you have a preference? Has the poll been working better
Let
for
me,
us to align our calendars?
Yes, it does seem to work better if we do a
Okay.
poll.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and prepare that and send it out. Let's see, probably the beginning of next week, if that's okay with the commission. Okay.
sounds good.
That sounds great. Do we want to propose weeks for 2 more meetings in the new year just to get those on the calendar?
I would be okay with that, but I know for me, with my work, we might be doing some travel that we won't book probably even until December at the earliest for January, and then maybe for February. So it might be better for me to wait, and it'd be like a week-long trip.
Maybe we can, maybe in the, I'm going to call it the December 16th meeting, although we haven't, obviously set the date. That would be a time to set some target weeks or something for the next meeting or the next couple of meetings to accommodate flexibility for somebody who's actually earning a living like Michael and not like me, who's avoiding
I'm trying
work.
out here.
It gets better. Okay.
It's funny. I actually in my job, I'm the staff for another commission for a nonprofit. So it's funny. I love being on the commission side.
Okay, any other suggestions or anything? What else? Somebody who's well, maybe one of the staff folks can tell me. Oh, yeah, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
just wanted to kind of lift up Molly's question from chat. Can we ask for other things in the December meeting if we think of something else? And maybe this is even a question for Ellen with regards to the open meeting requirements. If I think of something, or if Molly thinks of something, we're like, ooh, that would be a great data point to have. Would it be fine for us to just like fire off a note to Leslie and then have that kind of folded into your report out from the December meeting?
Yes, that would be fine. Just make sure you're only sending it just to the liaison, and then she can add it to the list of things to bring to the entire commission.
Good question. Yeah. Thanks, Alan. Any other questions or comments regarding? Is there anything else on the agenda? I see Leslie.
No, we don't have anything further. We did not receive any public comments, so.
Okay. Any other business that needs to be raised, or anyone on the commission or the staff would like to discuss? Okay. Let's see. My Robert Rules of Order. I've forgotten since last year. Do we need to have a vote to adjourn, or do I just pound the gavel and say that's it?
Technically, you do move to adjourn, but
Okay.
most commissions don't.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been any discussion? Objections? Hearing none. Well, I guess we'll do a roll call. I will vote for that.
In favor.
In favor.
I am in favor as well. Thank you all.
Okay, that's unanimous then. This meeting of the Salary Commission is adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for your
Thanks,
time.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good holiday break.
You as
Yeah,
well.
happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in December.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.